Hello everybody, welcome back to Arthenex Plays Factorio. So, I've obviously played a bunch since the last recording. Nothing too surprising or major. I spent a lot of time just kind of waiting for iron, actually. I did improve the sapphirite production to Mark II in order to speed up iron production a little bit. I also went ahead and set up the other two second level refining areas for bobmonium and rubite. So those are ready to go. That gets us tin and quartz and lead and nickel. Although, as I come over here, you can see I'm not actually using the nickel yet because I don't have anything I can do with it, and I can't actually process it yet because in order to refine nickel, you need to have oxygen, and I'm not making oxygen yet. And I'd also have to get it all the way down here, which I obviously haven't. So here's you can see I've actually turned them off because I'm not using them yet, and I don't want them to get all backed up. So I have some on the belts waiting for me to actually use them, and when the time comes that I need them, I could just go back and I just took out one piece of belt to keep them from running. So I'll just go put that back in, and that'll get them started again. Also, in the break, I went ahead and upgraded the power. So we are now using Mark II steam engines. So it's probably the last steam engine I'll use before I eventually want to switch to solar. But you notice that the setup looks quite a bit different for the Mark II steam engines. The Mark II steam engines use a lot more water. You can look at the available performance there, but basically they just consume massive amounts of water, so you can't do long strings of them like you can with the Mark I's. So the ratio is basically 3 boilers for 2 steam engines, which means you have a setup like this. I have this now. The plus side is they're way more efficient when it comes to generating power. I have the same number of steam engines that I had before, and I'm getting significantly more power. So anyway, that's the setup. I also decided to go with all stone pipe for that because, like I said, I was in a bit of an iron crunch, and stone pipe, I have lots and lots and lots of stone. So even though it's not a lot different, it doesn't, you don't spend a ton of iron on pipe. You do spend some. So anyway, let's see. There's a few things I can probably afford to get rid of here. So we can get rid of those. I can get rid of the long-handled inserters. I can get rid of the straight pipe. And the old small electric poles. Oh, I have some red science packs. Not sure when I picked those up. All right. Get rid of that. And throw the red science packs into the science. Science is also currently off. At least green science production is off. So yeah, and you can see science is currently shut down because I was directing all of the iron toward making transport belt. But now that that's done and caught up a little bit, I'll go ahead and turn science back on. So in order to do that, all I have to do is do that. And we'll start making more science. Steel production is also currently shut down. Go ahead and start that up again too. And the next project on the agenda is to get basic electronic boards being made. So we've already made a few, obviously, in order to make the filter inserters, in order to make these for our green science and the filter inserters for the... So yeah, so you can see we've made a few. The filter inserters for the ore processing area. But now I want to get them made automatically. So I have pretty much everything I need, I think, in order to get basic electronic boards being made. Right, so I just need electronic components. So I need tin, copper, wire. I have tin, I have copper, so that shouldn't be too bad. And I need carbon, which I have. And over here I need resin, which I have, and solder plate, which is just tin and lead, and I have all of that. So I've pulled everything over here, so now we can actually start making. I haven't actually figured out exactly what ratios I'm going to wind up using, but we can take a look. So we can use these electronics assembly machines to do it. You see, it didn't take long for once science started going again for us to start getting research done again. So we'll go ahead and use those. What do we... So take a quick look at our ratios here. So this takes 1 second. Right. Basic electronic components are going to be the major limiting factor for that. Because solder doesn't actually take all that much solder. It takes a lot of basic electronic components. So I think I'd rather, again, make those locally rather than try and ship them around. So we need carbon and tin copper wire. How many, what's my ratio of these? So this uses 5 every second. And this makes 5 every 2 seconds. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio. I'm going to need pretty fast inserters to keep up, probably. So this just needs tin, copper wire, and carbon. And then this needs... So we'll have one line coming in. So what we want to do is something like... We'll set up... So what do we need for these? Tin, copper wire, and carbon. Right. We don't have tin, copper wire on the bus. So we could make that locally too. Let's just take a look at that. So tin copper wire requires copper cable and tin plate. You get 3 every half second, and copper cable is over here. You get 2 every half second, and this uses 3 every half second. So this is like another 3-to-2 ratio. You need 3 copper cables for every one of these tin copper wires, and then you need 1 tin copper wire for every 2 of these. I'd rather try and do all of this here if I possibly can. So let's see what this would look like. So start by making tin copper wire. So copper cable and tin plate. So that would be... So I need like 3, right? 3 making copper cable. That makes 2 every half second. And 2 making tin plate. Or 2 making tin copper wire. That uses 3 every half second. Yeah, so that's the right ratio. So that would look something like that. And then so then we need to take In order to make the tin copper wire, we need tin, right? So we have to have copper coming in over here. We have to have tin coming in over here. And that makes the tin copper wire. And then in order to make the electronic components, so the electronic components require 1 tin copper wire every 2 seconds. And then they also require carbon. And this is making 3 tin copper wire every half second. So 6 every second, and this uses 1 every 2 seconds. So yeah, this is making 6. One of these is making 6 every second. So one of these can support 12 of these. It's looking like I don't want to feed these straight in then. Yeah, because this is making, one of these can support 12 of these. So even a 3 to 2, I'm going to wind up with a bunch extra. I don't know, I guess it depends on how fast I want to make these. Well, how fast am I making the basic circuit boards? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8. I'm making 8 of these making basic circuit boards. So I'm making 8 every second. And I'm using a few of them for other things. So yeah, the timing is the same on those. So I wouldn't want to do more than about 6 of these with my current basic circuit board production. Of course, I could expand my basic circuit board production. Right, the only thing I'm limited on right now is these, and these are 2 every half second, and these use 1 every second. Right, so if I want to expand my production of these, I would have to expand this, but I can move, now that I have the offset, I can get rid of this and sure, not sure how many a belt can support, but you can go ahead and go up to full capacity on those, and then up here that's all we currently have space for, apparently. can also straighten this out. Go ahead and upgrade this all to fast circuit board for now. And then change that. We'll change every top one. Okay, so that uses both sides of that belt, and then so this one out to offset. We'll match that. This will go out to non-offset. We'll match that. All right. So then the goal is going to be to have eight basic electronic boards. So that means we already figured this out, right? It's a 2 to 1. This makes 5 every 2 seconds. This uses 5 every second. So that means I'm going to need 16 electronic components factories. And the electronic components factories were these make 6 every second. So I could actually support 12 on one, so I can support 24 on this. So I'll have a little bit left over production wise. I could put it on the bus, or I could not. I think I won't right now. So we'll just do. Oh right, we need. So this was an input. We might need to go to fast inserters. Okay, so basic electronic components. Copper wire and carbon. We can bring the carbon in. Kind of thread the belt here. So let's go ahead and let's see. Steel down. Bring the iron down. Bring these down. Bring these down. Bring these down. That down, and then we're going to need to bring this onto the belt. Okay. This is going to be carbon. Oh, we need this on the other side, don't we? Because, I mean, we don't need to. We can put it on whatever side we want, but we might as well have it on the other side. With carbon coming in here, tin copper wire over here, the tin copper wire and carbon, that gives us the basic electronic components. So I said I was going to want 16 of those factories, right? So 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, then the other things we need are solder and basic electronic components. So we're going to need an input line. Let me get the tin copper wire up there. Then solder. Solder and basic electronic components. The basic electronic components are going to have to come up. So that means the solder is probably going to have to come up too. So as tempted as I am to make the solder up here, because I have all this empty space here and I don't want to use up, I'd rather condense it. I mean, I still could do that, I guess. So this is going to be copper. Really have to make those red hacked splitters. So that's going to be copper. So solder is solder plate and what? Resin. So I need 8 solder per second for this. Wow, this makes 8 solder every 2 seconds. So I need 2 of these, which means I need 8 solder plate every second. And this makes 11 solder plate every 7 seconds. Great, so you're going to make me pull out the calculator. So I need 8 every second. So 11 divided by 7 seconds is 1.57. So 8 divided by that is 5.09. So I need 5 I guess really I need 6 if I want to do overkill. I want this working at 100% efficiency. I would need 6. And this is tin and lead and coal. So I'm gonna need tin, lead, coal. Oh, nice! I got a new tool belt slot. That's helpful. Tin, lead, coal, and resin. So I need 4 things on probably 3 lines. I'm not sure if I really have space to put it up here. So, because I'm going to have 5 of these feeding into 2. Let's see, what would that look like? Why am I not making more of those? Need more iron. I do something like, oh, not those. Need to make these. Alright, so I had 6 of these. Feeding into 2 of these. I guess I could do that. It's too bad I don't have the electrical ones. But I'm pretty sure I'm a long way away from that. Yeah, so you're going to need iron and lead and coal. Then you're going to feed that into there, and it's going to be mixed with resin. This depends on how expandable I want to make this. I don't care about making this expandable. I could definitely do that all here. Sure. Let's put down the ghost images there. And then, oh wait, but I want right? Yeah, like that. All right, so iron, lead, and coal, and then over here we'll put the resin. And now I can potentially double the capacity of that at some point in the future. I don't think I'm going to want to go more than that. Right, but I don't have coal on the bus. I need to bring the coal over and put that on this top line here. Some more steel. some point relatively soon, we're going to have to start thinking about getting more iron. That one. Actually, it's probably the best place for it. Doesn't look like that depowered anything. So it might be worth having a backup power connection over here. You know, just in case. Okay. So let's see. This line is currently being used, so we need to come down to here. Okay. All right, so the first one is going to be the coal. That's going to go here. Oh, and it looks like I'm going to have to finish this in the next episode. Hopefully you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Hopefully, anyway. All right, until next time, I hope everybody out there has a terrific day. See you then.